Hey my loves, welcome back for another video. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Ashley and today we're playing in this gorgeous 14-inch pink bob. Now obviously this is not for everybody. If it's for you, let's go ahead and get started. So for starters, this is the inside construction of the cap. This is a lace closure wig. I'm going to start off by tinting the lace with a powder foundation. If you know me, you know I use a liquid, and this is a no-no for light colored wigs. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to the side of the wig and I'm just putting a little bit to spot test. I really like the way it came out, so I went ahead and buffed that same powder into the entire lace, and then you guys can see here it looks awesome. So now when you put it on, it's gonna look so much better. It almost tinted the lace to the point that it makes it so it's almost like not necessarily a dark root, but it just looks like it's more realistic and coming out of the scalp, so that we can go from it being like a Barbie doll play wig to an actual install. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess lace. Another option is to go ahead and tweeze out the hairline. This one is pre-plucked and I decided that this was good enough. If it is very dense in the front like Barbie doll hair, then I highly recommend that you tweeze it out. Even with this one, if you want it to be a lot more gradient, that's definitely an option. But for me, this worked out just fine, especially because I went in and tinted that lace. Now as far as the lace tint goes, there are many options. Typically I would use a liquid foundation. I was afraid that it would bleed through. Even with like a liquid lace tint, if you spray it on the lace on the inside, it may bleed through and go too far onto the actual hair on the opposite side. So I felt like the powder foundation was the best fit because I'd have the most control. Now if you're following along, you see I was just customizing the lace around the ear so that it fits perfectly. This is my adhesive of choice. It is a holding spray. Of course I have it linked in the description box. I kind of had to toy with it because it was spraying a little bit weird, so I went ahead and used like a sharp pair of scissors and kind of like pulled off that excess buildup around the cap or the nozzle of the spray, and then it worked perfectly. Whenever you're bonding a wig down, I highly recommend that you use a blow dryer on a cool setting. This is going to be a game changer. If you're trying to air dry your wigs and bond it down, yes, it will work, and this is what I did majority of the beginning of my experience with wigs. But once I learned how to blow dry it, it made it so that the wig actually will bond down, it will last, it will be much more neat, and it's just completely a different experience. As you can see with me, I work in sections. I do the center part first, and then I do one side and then the other side. This just makes it easier. If you try to do the whole thing at once, you almost always will end up with a piece that you have to kind of go back and redo because it didn't stick. It takes a minute for it to dry, but once it dries, if that makes sense, especially because it's a non-glue adhesive. Like if you use an actual glue, like it'll give you a little bit more time to bond it down, if that makes any sense. So work in sections. Everybody has a different method. I do cut my lace off first. I do see some people that will cut off they'll bond the wig down and cut the lace off after. I kind of just feel like I don't get a close enough cut and I have to touch it up more when I do it that way. But now I'm on to the next step. I'm going to be going ahead and using the hot comb to press out the hairline. Now I really wanted this to look melted. I didn't want a Barbie doll looking wig. I really wanted it to look flat, melted, like it was like my hair dyed or something like that. Obviously a lot of people wouldn't know that this is a wig. I did cut through the clips and kind of speed it up, so you really don't see how much time I use or utilize doing this, just going back and forth until it was completely straight. I didn't use any product at this point. Once I felt like it was straight enough, I went ahead and cut down the baby hair. Now I didn't really pull out specific neat uniform baby hair, and I didn't really want that for this wig. I kind of, you see when I did the install, I kind of used my hands to kind of like tease the hair in the front and allow the hair to kind of dry and go wild in different directions. Now I like this because I feel like natural baby hair will do that, where like some will go forward, some will go to the side, and ultimately I just feel like whenever I you know, swoop my baby hair, it always looks a little bit better when it's a little bit untamed, if that makes any sense. Also, another mistake I made with this wig, and I make often, is I get lazy with the sideburns and I don't tweeze them out. You have to tweeze and thin out your sideburns before you bond them down, especially if you're using a non-glue adhesive. In my case, if I would go ahead and tweeze this out right now, chances are it will lift because I'm not using real glue, and then I'll have to rebond it down, which who wants to do that when it's okay already? So I know that the sideburns need a little work. All I have to do is tweeze it out and it'll be super simple, but that is a step that I need to remember to do before I bond the wig down, again, because I'm not trying to do it twice. So in this case, like tomorrow, I can wake up and before I rebond down the sideburns, I can go in and tweeze them out a little bit and it'll be perfect. So it's important to set your baby hair, especially if you're using a mousse or foam lotion like I did. I'm using a wet product and I really want it to dry, form, and mold. So typically I would go in and add a scarf. You could use those like styling strip papers that they use in a hair salon, and then even then you can put the scarf on top of that, especially if you're doing like different clients. You don't want to put the same scarf on everybody's hairline, especially the way germs are working these days. So use a styling strip and lay it down, and then if you want a tighter hold, you can put the scarf over that to kind of like tie it a little bit tighter, because the styling strips don't necessarily get that tight without breaking. Now I'm going in and perfecting the parting. I decided I wanted to go a little bit slightly deeper with the part, not much, but I just wanted it to fit my face a little bit more. So I moved it over and I made it a little bit more curved, and I love the way it came out. You can see that brown peeking through, and that is again because I did add that foundation in the lace. Again, if you would use a liquid, there's a chance that when you part it like a liquid foundation, that it would be like brown liquid, you know, foundation in splotchy places all over the pink wig. Next up is to perfect the parting of the hairline. Now this step I could have kind of sort of skipped, but again, I just wanted to make sure it looked like my scalp and my skin peeking through any lace exposed areas on this one. So I did go in with my normal Fenty concealer along the parting, and then also along the hairline. And as you guys can see, I kind of finessed and feathered it against the actual hair. Now the reason I did that, I kind of wanted to give the illusion of it being a little bit more plucked, so I kind of like painted on the pluck, if you will. Now I'm kind of mad I did this because I feel like whenever you're using a concealer or anything in the hairline, it tends to be a little bit less forgiving. So you can kind of see the more I put, the more like orange or yellow it kind of looks. If I would have just did it very lightly, it would have perfectly blended with my complexion. But again, I got a little greedy and I did too much, and now it gives off a color opposed to skin. It's not that bad. It would definitely be worse if it were like orange or something like that, but again, it'll wear off. So again, I just would not put so much the next time. And now I'm going in and straighten the wig. It did take a little bit of extra for the wig to get boned straight, but I am using a rat tail comb to chase the flat iron, and it pretty much got the job done. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We went ahead and slayed this gorgeous pink bob lace wig, and I think she came out awesome. So this one was sent to me by NaBeauty. You guys know I work with this company. This is the packaging here as always, and they did include some goodies. There's this little pack right here where it has like the adjustable straps in there and some cute little clips, and of course this is like a little pouch that you can keep like some makeup in or whatever, you know, for your purse. And then they also included some wig caps. It really wasn't that hard to install, and it definitely wasn't hard to make blend with my complexion. The key to it was adding the powder underneath the lace so that off the bat the lace matches. A lot of the times, and even if you follow me and watch my videos, whenever I install a wig that has like lighter roots like blonde or even pink, what you find is that when I bond it down and it has that transparent lace or just that really light lace, you can't see the vision for the majority of the time because that lace is so white that it's just hard to see past that. So that helped to make everything look good, and when the lace looks good from the beginning, it helps to make the install much more easy. In the end, I did go ahead and add that concealer, and the concealer matches my complexion pretty good in person. I'll have to see what it looks like on camera. This is my normal concealer, and what you will find is sometimes when you use like your normal powder, you know, the normal concealer on the lighter wig, it'll make it look a lot more red. So I'm happy that I didn't have that situation. As far as the baby hair goes, I did it really light. You have to really be up on there to really see it. And I kind of just did that just so that it can just not look like it starts a straight wig and like a pink Barbie doll wig. I wanted it to look like it was installed and, you know, put together nicely. Also, I just think it looks better in general. Like it does, like I said, it just doesn't look like a crazy Barbie doll wig. So let me know what you guys think of this one. I went ahead and grabbed my pink robe. I'm going to take some cute pictures and catch a vibe. I think this is super cute on me. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to check the description box. A link and details to this wig and everything I used to complete this look are there hanging out for you guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with your friends. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches!